What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. Despite having a number of theaters, a staggering amount of theaters, actually, some might say, and despite being the only real movie out right now, no, Captain America has not hit $1 billion. It's not going to save Marvel, and it'll probably be on Disney Plus in a couple of weeks. And yeah, it has had that steep drop off that we all were expecting. Not as high as some, not as low as others, but it looks like a 70% drop off is more or less what's being agreed upon, saying 68 for a while. But this sort of gets into the rub of what you're counting from what day to what day. So this one here, Marvel latest film, their projections, of course, opening weekend of 88.8 million, dropping to 28.2 million in its second weekend. Now that's Friday to Friday. That was the decline of 68%. In total, it's about half and half between domestic and overseas of how much it's made. 141 million here and 148 million over there, wherever there is internationally. So globally, we're just under 290 million. And of course, remember they tried to say that only $180 million was the budget. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Steep decline, of course, is right in line with at least what Sean Robbins was saying over at Box Office Theory, predicting that 68% decline, even though it's actually gone a little bit higher than that. So in that regard, it really does depend on who's telling the story. Either way, if you just count from the opening weekend to the opening weekend, it's the highest decline, I think, only near or close to the Marvels current record holder belonging to the Marvels, which declined at 78% in its second weekend, going from 446.1 million to 10 million. And then Quantumania and Thor Love and Thunder, which we keep comparing it to for some reason, also had 70 and 68% declines. Now, of course, that's very different because the landscape is different and the amount of theaters and blah, 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 blah. But either way, it's going to lose money. It's a failure. Odin from shout out Odin from OMB Review saying this film will probably end up losing over 20 million by the end of its run, probably more like 300. As of right now, it's $314 million in the red. Did not think it's going to make that much. And again, that's the reason we can expect a 200 million loss, maybe even 250 million loss or more for this movie. This movie is a failure. No matter how you spin it, no matter what way you look at it, this movie is not good. One, objectively, as a movie, it's terrible, but also box office wise, it is a huge box office loss, especially when you keep in mind it probably cost at least 300 million, and I think you could shoot that north of 500 million when all is said and done. You can see here, depending on who reports it, the spin for it is different. So you can see over here, one of the most contentious points around Brave New World has been the film's true cost. So they tried to spin that it was 180 million production budget. That was very clearly before the first major reshoot of the movie, adding all those extra action scenes, changing it from a January 6th analogy to whatever the hell they ended up going with Stearns and the brainwashing, adding in Giancarlo Esposito as the Sidewinder character. You could use 180 million just for all that, let alone whatever the base shooting was, well and over what they actually cost in for reshoots. So you can see here, 180 million production budget. Insiders and industry experts have reported that the actual figure is significantly higher. Multiple rounds of costly reshoots are believed to have ballooned the total production cost to somewhere between 350 and 375, meaning that, yeah, as we've always said, 900 million. You got to hit $1 billion for this thing to even come close to breaking even, and it's not. Over there, Variety, like I said, depending on who's reporting it, they were trying to make it seem like, oh, it's just doing gangbusters. It's great by trying to hide from what day to what day and going with the smaller number, even though, again, at this point, over a 70% drop off its second weekend. Trust and believe this is going to lose money. Box Office Mojo just confirming that worldwide we're at just under 290 million. And yeah, 49% on the tomato reader, 80 on the popcorn meter. It's not looking good. They just fumbled it from start to finish. This is a holdover of making decisions from socio-political BLM, George Floyd things that are no longer applicable or wanted when they came out. And now you just have to ignore it. You have to ignore it, let it come out, let it lose its money, and hope that by the time their course corrections come out, there's something to course correct. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this. By all means, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.